Boom, and we're back.
Hello.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Just going all weird right off the bat.
I love that welcome. Howdy. Howdy, neighbor.
Howdy, neighbor.
Welcome back to
Welcome back.
Dad Man Dude. Another episode.
Definitely am loving this thing, man. And we were just talking about it before the show. We're enjoying going back and listening to it ourselves. And that's a big deal. So I definitely want to hear some feedback from you guys at home too.
Yeah, man. Like, we posted the last one that we kind of threw off cycle, if you will, which was our April Fool's Day episode. And we definitely got some feedback from some folks, and that was awesome. Continue to share whatever it is that you have in mind. We want to continue to grow. We want to hear what you guys got to say. And, like Brandon said, I mean, I'm a fan of us.
I'm a fan.
Like,
call me a fanboy. If you want, I mean, it's fine.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you don't feel. You know what? Fuck it. Call us fanboys. We're fanboys. But no, man. Like, I still enjoy coming into this every day, talking to you about something new that happened either in the week or just something that really hit, struck up conversation for me. The April Fool's thing, man. Like, I thought it was really cool how. One, like, I did get a couple people that were just like, like, whoa, like, are you actually quitting IT? And I'm like, no, no, I like IT. That's I'm not doing that. I just so happen.
I'm definitely
to
going to stay repossessing cars, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Like
that's a given for me,
right? We're still staying in our gigs. We just like this as well, and we figured that you guys
we want to see it grow.
Yeah,
we want to see it, fly up there, man. We want to see people get value from what we do.
Exactly.
And you hit a chord with me there about things that happen in the week that we have to talk about.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
So I have to bring up what about Will Smith smacking the shit out of Chris Rock?
Okay. I think we should. Great conversation. So right off the bat, I'm going to tell you my opinion, and then we can talk about what we perceive from it, right?
If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see that I'm already laughing.
Brandon was.
I'm dying.
Brandon was.
I'm dying.
Okay, so I think that shit was fake. I thought it was a publicity stunt.
Even if it's not fake, even if it is fake, regardless, I just think it was one of the funniest things that has happened in the last, I don't know how many years. Like, it's still hilarious because, like, instantly I started singing the theme song to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in my head. Like,
oh my God, that is so funny.
And
like,
then
started going with the and a couple of guys up to no good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then freaking I saw a meme that brought back the thing from the Chappelle show. What did the five fingers say to the face?
Oh.
And then kept playing it on loop. And
oh my
dude,
God,
I was just dying. Like, it sure is comedy gold. Now, I'm also in agreement with you that I think that it was definitely a publicity stunt, probably from both of them. Like,
see, so I'm with you there. So the hilarity, 100%. I thought it was fucking. And not only was it hilarious, but also, like, the person that did it was the thing that was so unexpected, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, like, if you see, like, I can even see the likes of, like, Matt Damon doing that shit, right?
Yeah.
But Will Smith, like, you just don't,
Right.
you don't see him as that kind of person. And then all of a sudden, he just, like, smacks the shit out of Chris Rock. And that is fucking hilarious. Not only is it hilarious because of the fact that, like, somebody got smacked, but it's the fact that, like, It was Chris Rock. Like,
right? You
that's
just
fucking
smacked the
funny.
shit out of Chris Rock.
That was
But
funny.
then, like, Chris Rock's response was just, Will Smith just done smacked the shit out of me. Like,
That's so
I'm
true.
sorry, but I'm pretty sure Chris Rock just called him a bitch. I think that's what that meant.
I think it was the most respectful way to call somebody a bitch. Like he basically
Absolutely.
said, I just got the shit smacked out of me by Will Smith. Didn't phase me.
And
I'm
I'm
still
still
talking.
standing here.
Right. I'm
And
still
I'm
standing
still
here.
motherfucking funny.
Exactly. And I'm gonna still make a joke about Jada.
Right.
But no, man, like I definitely I thought it was hilarious. Like I'm still in that place where like I just think I think it was a publicity stunt. And I'm not even sure if it was like a Chris Rock and Will Smith type of thing. I don't know if it was like an
We're trying to bring the
Oscars.
Oscars back.
Exactly. I don't know if it was like an Oscars thing where the Oscars were they've obviously lost
They were talking
viewers.
about that kind of right off the rip. I mean, a lot of the Kevin Hart stuff from a couple years ago definitely kind of turned a lot of people off, and
Exactly.
kind of all that stuff mixed together. So it's like I think there may have been some shenanigans there.
And like look, if you look at the footage, right? So you see Chris Rock make the joke or the jokes.
And then Will
Jada
Smith was laughing.
Will Smith was
Jada was
laughing.
like kind of blowing it
Jada
off.
so Jada was laughing at the beginning, and then she kind of changed when the joke was about her, right? And then at that point, Will Smith was still laughing. Then they pan out to Chris Rock. Then they pan back to Will Smith, and Will Smith is pissed at this point, right?
Right.
And that's where
He got the stare down.
well, but that's the thing. Like, okay, pause on the stare down for a minute, right? Like, let's say that your significant other comes up to you, and then like they're like, like, hey, this dude just made a joke about me. Like, me as an adult, man, like, I'm not gonna start a fight just because somebody took a joke offensively, no matter who it is. It could be my mother. It doesn't matter. Like my significant other, kids, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not gonna take that type of aggression right off the bat. Now, if something's physical is done to them, then absolutely I'm going to be
Right.
stepping in and like
Without a doubt.
fucking drop kicking people in the face. But like on that perspective, like I don't see myself doing that. And I can't even fathom why Will Smith would go, oh shit, like, like I'm gonna fuck this guy up because I
Right.
don't get it. I just don't understand that reaction.
Especially because it's Chris Rock making a joke, right? Like he's already the top of the game. Like definitely one of the funniest comedians in the world. Like definitely a big star. So like it's almost flat. If he would have made a joke about me, I would have kissed him for it. You know what I mean? Like
No, I feel you.
like even and that's the thing is like what would make that happen on such a level that quick? It doesn't make any
Exactly.
sense.
Right. Like the way he snapped and the reaction to it just it doesn't add up. So I don't that's why like it adds further into this being a publicity stunt, right? Because like again, like Will Smith laughing at the joke, like it almost felt like the Oscars came up to him and then they said it's go
Y'all
time.
should duke it out.
Right.
Let's go.
It's go time. Right.
Right.
And then he got up and then like smacked the shit out of Chris Rock. Like that whole thing just seemed really funky in that way. And then also, if you look at Chris Rock, right? Chris Rock almost like knew that he was about to get hit because there's a point where like he kind of braces.
The strut up to Chris Rock. Like, come on, like that looked like it was choreographed. Like they practiced
It did,
that
right?
shit.
Exactly.
Like he did the full like runway strut right on the way up there, and then whack, and then runway strut back. He paused a little and did this and did that. Like, dude, that's what I mean. Is like it had to be some sort of stage. Had to be.
That's where I'm heading towards that, where I think it
because
was
you didn't see like a statement from the Oscars come flying out right away.
right.
You know,
Right.
like it was very kind of like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's a little strange, a little
No,
strange.
absolutely. And that, like, and they also, then talked about how Denzel Washington and I think it might have been Tyler Perry, maybe. They both like approached Will Smith and were kind of like, talking to him and calming him down and, you know, having a face to face with him. That also to me felt kind of odd, right? Because who's going to Chris Rock? I mean, Chris Rock is the one that got fucking hit in the face. Like,
Right.
is anybody going to Chris Rock and being like, "Hey, man, you just got fucked up, but are you all right?" Like, I didn't. I don't, they never talked about that. And
No.
the thing is that like I also I'm kind of on the fence about this as well because there's a sensitive matter about the Chris Rock situation, meaning that he's a comedian, right? Now, we know that he is a comedian that tends to push the envelope. We've seen that before from him. Part of me goes, okay, well, why is everybody offended about a comedian making jokes? But then there's also the other part of me that kind of understands the aspect of, are some things not to be joked about? And also, does it matter the audience, if you will, right?
Right,
Um,
like you're not at some bar on a Thursday in,
exactly.
upstate New York. You're at the Oscars. Like
Right. Exactly.
it's kind of a
Exactly.
big deal. But, there's been a lot of different theories about a lot of different things as to why they could have done it. I just like I have to say that they needed to pick different people, I think, because it's so far out of their character to do stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure you could have found somebody else that was willing to throw a punch at the Oscars.
I'm with you, man. Like it almost felt like wrestling, right? You
Right.
remember?
It
You
felt
remember?
very much like wrestling.
Yeah, like you remember back in the day when you used to watch wrestling, and if you came out and you saw, for example, right, you saw Stone Cold Steve Austin kick somebody in the groin,
Yeah.
right? Like you were like, oh, okay, that's typical
Right.
Steve
You
Austin.
watched him you watched him kick him in the thigh, and then the guy grabbed his junk and
Right, right,
you were like, "Oh, the Austin move. Got it.
right,
Got it.
exactly,
Got it."
right. Now imagine if it was like somebody like, the fucking the Undertaker doing that. That wouldn't make sense, right? It would be out of
Right.
character for him to be like, a loud mouth because that wasn't the Undertaker, wasn't about that. So that's what this issue or this situation with Chris Rock and Will Smith felt like, where you're absolutely right that they almost picked the wrong characters for
Right.
this scene, right? Like
Like, I think it should have been Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
that would have been that would have
Because
been
then
better.
it could have accomplished so many different things on so many different levels, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
the history's there, right? The
Mm,
comedy's there,
right.
the comedy aspect's still there, and then it could be great publicity to do another Bad Boys movie, which are always good.
Totally. I didn't even see it from that angle, but no, you're absolutely right. Like, and I think you're right. I think maybe that's what was so shocking about it was the fact that it was two characters that you didn't expect to cross paths in that aspect, right? But then again, if they are trying to set this shit up for us to believe, right, and for us to feed off of it, I mean, they would put two characters like this. Now, the marketing technique, if this was intentional, was fucking genius because
Oh, that dude
everybody's talking
that
about it.
dude's living life. The guy that
Everybody.
said, "Hey, let's do this." That guy is paid right
Oh,
now.
absolutely.
Paid.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
now, caveat, if it wasn't a marketing scam and it was legit, which there's a small percentage that could be a thing, right? They got lucky as hell. Like
Absolutely.
all of them because like it didn't turn into a shit show right away.
Right.
So like the cops didn't come busting in, and but nobody got arrested. It's just now, I guess, a lawsuit or whatever.
Hmm.
But think about it, like whatever money it cost them to go through a lawsuit, they're gonna make back just on clicks on YouTube,
Oh, absolutely.
like or all social media or whatever. These guys are just gonna get paid.
Absolutely.
It
Absolutely.
very much reminds me of like the UFC pre-fight, like the big fights where they're like trying to fight each other beforehand because one's talking about the other one's mother.
Hmm.
Like it
Hmm.
felt very similar to the typical UFC pre-fight press conference.
Right. Right. No, and I'm with you. Like, and it almost felt like to me where they said, right, and you mentioned earlier that Chris Rock, like, he's definitely famous, and I 100% I'm with you. Now,
Not saying that Will Smith's not.
right, right. Now, here's the other piece, though, right? Like, also, Chris Rock hasn't done anything major for himself in a while, right? I mean, like, he's done like,
Right. I mean, the last time he released a special was, I think, 5 or 6 years ago.
right. So
Like,
it's
and
been a minute.
it was right after he went through that divorce and got, he's paying for everybody's boat. So,
Right, right.
he's running out of cash. If anybody stood to benefit off of this the most, I think it would be Chris Rock.
It dead on, and that's where I was going with this, is the fact that
Brings him
I
back into the relevant light, brings him, and then makes it, a thing. Like, dude, every single. So think about it this way: just from what went on, just from getting smacked in the face. Now, where maybe these networks or venues or however you want to put them, between Prime Video, Netflix, uh, all those things, the places where people do comedy specials.
sure,
Now all of them are going to be like, oh, well, we got to get Chris Rock. And
exactly.
because that somewhere in that bit is going to be, so I got smacked in the face by Will Smith at the Oscars. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yes.
It's going to be a topic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's going to be a moneymaker
So it's
right
like
off the
an
bat.
instant career start back upper. You know what? Not that the guy, again, probably has more money than I'll ever see in my life. Hopefully not. But realistically, probably very well set for himself. But there's always more.
Yeah.
I think I mean, judging from his performance through the whole thing, he's still got it in him. He's
Mm-hmm.
got an hour in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he works on it all the time.
No,
But
I'm with you, man. Like, I definitely think that Chris Rock is the one that benefits most from it. And you're right. It would be very stupid for a one of these media companies, like you mentioned, Netflix, HBO, Showtime, like you said, all the ones that actually do comedy
Comedy
specials,
Central,
Comedy Central. Yeah. Like, they would be dumb not to pick up Chris Rock right now.
right?
And again,
I
to
mean, and
add,
honestly, the best bet would probably be for Chris Rock to produce it himself,
mhm,
and then farm it to all of them at the same time. That way, it's not exclusive.
absolutely, absolutely. And and here's the crazy thing, like, I wouldn't even be surprised if, like, Will Smith is the one that's directing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something
Directing
crazy
on it.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, or like,
Or funding it. Or
he's in the
funding it.
oh, hey, and he may be looking for that 5% increase on his money. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So this
Exactly.
is because think about it, Will Smith. I mean, I don't. Other than them, they revamped the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and that's on Peacock. Um, that's the only thing, and I don't know exactly what he had to do with it, but
I
his name hasn't really been around too much lately.
So, I mean, I know, well, I mean, he won that fucking Oscar for King George, right?
Right.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, like, I think it was almost a situation, right, where if the Oscars had something to do with this, right? It was like, hey, Chris Rock, we know your career's not as high as it once was, right? Like, you have a lot of competitors right now, right? Like, you have, Kevin Hart, especially, right, who's taken on that seat, and he's like selling out stadiums, right? Which is the thing
Bro.
that Chris Rock never did, right? Or at least I didn't think he did. So, But either
I'm
way,
pretty sure. I mean, he's sold out some huge venues.
oh
Like
no,
he
I
did, he
believe
did a couple big
he's done like
stadium
Madison
tours
Square
and stuff like
Garden.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, I believe that. I just don't know if he's done like actual, like, like full on, like I'm talking about like open space.
consistently.
Yeah,
Like Kevin Hart's changed the game as far as what comedians are capable of.
exactly. So yeah, so I don't know if my theory is that if the Oscars were behind it, then it would be like hey Chris Rock, we know your career is not where this is, and he goes like, what do I got to do, right? And then they're like, well, you just got to get fucking punched
Smacked
in
in
the
the mouth.
face. Yeah, just take one in the teeth for today.
Right.
And then for Will Smith, right? It was one of those situations that it was like, hey man, like, we all know you're a serious actor. We all know that, like,
You're
you
also a
have,
rapper.
right. We know you're a rapper. We know all this stuff, but you also have kind of like a very like soft kind of, you know,
Look to you.
look to you. Yeah. Like you look like the husband that like gets fucking punched in the face for making, the wrong type of broccoli. Right. Like,
Absolutely.
so then like, I don't know if
you can look at them as a couple, Jada and Will, and Jada has beat that man's ass.
oh yeah,
Like
absolutely.
she has thrown hands at him and he has stood there and taken.
I could see that for sure. I could see that for sure. But like, I don't know if that's what drove him to this, right? Where they were like, you got to change your image. This is how you do it, blah, 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 blah. And then they came up with this crazy thing. And people are going to say, well, but that forces Will Smith to like also resign from the Academy. And like, but in reality, like, who gives a fuck about the Academy anymore, right? Like, I mean, like, obviously for the Oscars, who are the ones that would be behind this, they do care about it, right? But at the same time, they have so many other actors that they can actually leverage in order to continue to grow it, or they can spin it up later on to say, right, like we want to give Will Smith an award for being brave and standing up for his wife, and again, fucking poor Chris Rock beating the shit out of Chris Rock. Like I don't,
and then Chris Rock gets to count his money.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what it boils down to, is money. So, I mean, like I said, whatever either one of them would stand to gain or lose in a lawsuit because of it, I mean, they're talking about making it back tenfold, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, I'm almost certain that it was a gimmick. It just doesn't add up. It doesn't add up.
But goddamn, was it funny?
It was, man. Now, okay, let's switch it up a little bit. Imagine if that shit was real, 100%, right? You're Chris Rock. I walk up to you,
dude,
and I smack the.
Could you imagine if it was real? Could you imagine the conversation in Chris Rock's dressing room after the fact?
Oh,
like, dude, like, if it was real, there was some. I'm like, somebody was grabbing his phone from him so he doesn't hire somebody to beat his ass, and do like, oh my god, I could only imagine.
Oh, absolutely.
Dude, I want fly on the wall in that motherfucker.
Oh, 100%, dude. It would be fucking hilarious. One, because of the shit that he'd be saying, but then two, just because of the aspect of, like how much hatred he would have towards Will Smith, right? That would be fucking hilarious. Now,
oh my god.
Now, okay, now imagine, right? Let's say that you're Chris Rock, I'm Will Smith. I walk up to you and smack the shit out of you on live TV.
Oh, you are getting knocked the fuck out.
Exactly. Thank you. Like,
I mean, if I can do it or not, I'm gonna try.
Right. Right.
You are not going to bitch me on TV at
right. Like I'm not gonna sit there, look at the camera and go, he just fucking hit the shit out of me. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna fucking go after you and like punch the shit out of you. And if I get my ass beat in the process, that's fine. But at least I went for it.
Right. I mean, so there's got to be some awards for gusto at that
point. That's so true. That's so true. You know what's crazy though is, man, like I can't think of anything that has happened that's as wild as that has been.
I agree, man. I mean, it's got a Jerry Springer vibe to it.
It
You know what I
does.
mean?
It does. Like I
And
would say,
then
like probably the only thing that I can recall of that level, and like I, I'm I'm gonna be insensitive here for a minute. I'm sorry. I'm apologizing in advance, and
oh boy.
don't hate me, right? I'm gonna say hilarity, right? Because one, it didn't happen to me. Two, it didn't happen to me. And then three, it's fucking funny. But like it almost leveled out to the what was the skater? Nancy in the
Oh,
night
Kerrigan?
Kerrigan, thank you.
Yeah.
Nancy Kerrigan, right? It was almost like that where like you had that celebrity level where
Right.
it was shocking, right? Like I'm only laughing about the Nancy Kerrigan thing because she didn't die, so that's fucking hilarious
Right.
that she got stabbed by a skater.
Right.
Like,
Like
but
clubbed down.
right. But that's probably the only thing that I can remember that is almost equivalent to this scenario of ridiculousness involved in one scene.
Right. I mean, there's an argument for some of the stuff from like the Trump campaign the first time.
I I think I think secretly I kind of like fucking hid that shit in the back of my brain, and I just didn't want to recall it. But now that you said
Okay.
that, like fuck yeah,
Yeah, but hold on though, because so regardless of your political affiliations, um, I think we all expected that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like even the diehard Republicans were like, yeah, we knew that was going to happen.
fair. I don't know if they were expecting some of the fucking video to be released, right? Like grab her by the
Oh
pussy.
my god.
Like,
Oh
do you know what I'm saying? Like that
yeah.
shit was
Dude,
cringe.
it was it was big cringe.
It was
And then it just
cringe.
it got swept under the rug.
Right. That's it, like okay.
Dude, that's the other thing. So many weird shit, so much weird shit goes on in politics now that like I would say like everybody's starting to see like how did that just go away? Like I don't know, like oh, COVID's gone.
Yeah, COVID
Like
or Joe Biden saying on I think it was on a microphone or video recording where he said he's a bitch or something
right.
like that to
Yeah.
somebody. Um, like, but you're right. Like, fuck, I I totally left the Trump campaign out of my mind because it was so ridiculous. I think I totally blocked it out. But you're right. Okay,
Right.
so okay, leave the Trump saga out of it. Right?
That's in a category of
That's
its own.
yeah, like if we were playing Jeopardy, that's like one of the columns in there,
Right.
right? Like
Right.
that one
That's
probably has
shit that happened in that 4 years that nobody talks about for 500, Alex.
exactly exactly. And you would get the double Jeopardy on that one.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, no, like but imagine the Trump campaign, right? Or the Trump um presidential years.
Regime.
Yeah, did not
Yes.
happen, right?
Right.
Can you think of anything else that is as cartoony? I'm almost saying cartoony as this incident
Right.
was.
Dude, I would have to go back to yeah,
Like
the
like you have to go back to the 90s, right? Because the
right.
only other thing that I could think of would be, and this one wasn't as famous, like the people weren't as famous. Obviously, the case ended up being hilarious, but that was the
Oh,
Lorena Bobbitt incident.
yeah.
Right? Like that one was also hilarious in itself. And again, I'm using hilarious because it's fucking funny that like it happened. They're okay. The guy's okay. That's why it's hilarious. Don't
Right.
fucking murder me because I'm saying hilarious. It is what it is.
Dude, I mean, everybody's got a dick jokes are funny. Like
Yes.
so like it's a dick joke. It just happened to have been real.
And ripped off.
Right. sawed off and
I
tossed in the middle of
like
and
how you
tossed in
said
the middle of the highway. Like,
it was.
oh
But
god.
I love how just now you were just like, right. Like that wasn't the problem. But
Oh
then
man.
it was even funnier because you're like, you're right, it was not the problem. The problem was that the penis was thrown on the highway. Like it was just laying on the highway.
Right.
Okay, but do you listen? Hear how ridiculous that sounds, right?
Right. This is the next thing.
And
Like,
that's the only
but
thing I
see,
can think of.
I also think that the whole thing with Kevin Hart was kind of a sham too, to bring attention back to the Oscars,
Oh,
you know,
absolutely. But
but it
I
just
think
didn't
it
go well
right. It backfired.
because it backfired because everybody was like, yeah, but Kevin Hart's a comedian. Like,
Mhm.
we look for them to say dark, fucked up shit that we all actually think, because when they say it, we laugh.
Yeah, absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely,
did he offend some people? Probably, but every single comedian that goes on stage offends somebody somewhere. I mean, shit.
absolutely,
Half of them, you know, they make jokes about their family all the
dude.
time. Fuck.
Have you like listened to when Ricky Gervais like hosted that shit?
Oh,
That dude was an animal, man. Like
dude,
with
he
the shit
was.
that he said,
Oh my god,
fuck.
that was
So
weird.
yeah, it was weird. It was weird. But like I mean the shit that he says, like I mean, obviously a lot of the shit is like the shit that I read in like conspiracy blogs and which I'm a huge fan of. But anyways, like some of the shit that he says on there, like it's like putting people on blast, you know, and
Oh,
like nobody
without a
said
doubt.
nobody like fucking attacked anybody then.
No, but nobody also saw Ricky Gervais again. I
Fair
mean,
enough.
I'm not saying the guy's missing, but I haven't seen him. Just saying.
I'm not saying he's missing, but I haven't seen the man, so
Right.
he's missing.
So we're not sure where he is.
Right.
But see, that's what I'm saying is I feel like you've seen a pattern of trying for some kind of big drama and it really just not hitting the mark.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
I don't know.
So
I mean,
do you think this one hit the mark?
I definitely think it hit the mark.
Yeah. That's what I think
I
so too.
definitely think it did. Because I mean, dude, we're talking about it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Everybody's talking about it. You can't look through any social media platform and not see a meme of Will Smith smacking the shit out of Chris Rock.
Okay, but like now, here's the tricky part. What are the Oscars gonna do next year? Like, so obviously, like, you know, like as a viewer, right, we're gonna tune in because of the fact that we feel that
Right.
somebody's gonna
I
get
think
smacked again.
I think next year Putin should host the Oscars.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He should be the guy. Somebody write that down. If it
Somebody-
pans out, if it pans out, I want $1.
Dude,
Oh,
with the way that
that's the only way it could get any weirder.
no, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Like
And
that, or this year's host of the Oscars, Donald Trump Jr. Like, I mean,
oh my god.
let's get weird.
Dude, that's fucking glorious.
But
I'm like picturing that right now.
but let me ask you a question. In your opinion, personally, does that take value out of the Oscars for you?
Yes.
Like, I've never watched the Oscars fully.
You're
Like, I
right.
can remember it being a big thing, but like now, I don't watch that shit.
I don't
Like,
watch that shit either. Like okay, I remember watching it probably when I was like I'm gonna say
7?
that I was gonna go a little bit more than that, but yeah. No, I probably like
think
I remember watching it in like high school because people were gonna talk about it the next day, right? Like and
true,
you didn't
true,
and
true.
you didn't but the thing was that you didn't watch it in its entirety either. The only problem was that back then we really didn't have DVR like we have now, right? So you had to kind of watch the shit. And if
Unless
you
you were
even
one of
wanted
those
to,
weirdos with TiVo.
right, exactly. But even then, that shit wasn't popular, right?
Nah, you could only record like one show.
Right. Fucking weirdo with TiVo. That's fucking hilarious. But nonetheless, right? Like, I remember watching it because we would talk about it the next day, but that's probably the last time. Other than that, like in the past, decade at the very least,
I didn't even know they
I
had it.
right, I can't even
Like I
tell you
couldn't tell you when it
right.
is.
Exactly. I have no idea like what anything is. Like
I also
I can't
feel like
even
there's way less advertising for the
there
Oscars.
is.
Like,
I believe so too. I believe so
that was
too.
like a big network deal, like a Friday night or a Saturday night spot, like big, big, big. And now it's like,
Right, right. And
when
I
was the
and
Oscars on Tuesday?
right. Right. Well, and again, right, like I also think that it came down to the fact that there were several also high profile celebrities that were also boycotting the Oscars, right? Because they felt that, what's the name for it? The panel, not the panel, but
The board.
the board. They have a name. I can't remember what it is. But that group of people that make the decision on who wins the awards, right? Like people felt like they were one-sided, or they felt like they weren't really looking at other movies. And there's also the aspect of the awards actually being bought out by big movie companies in order for them to actually win the best picture of the year or best whatever the fuck they wanted, right? So I think it's called the Academy. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Whatever.
But anyways, but that group, like I know that they had a lot of backlash from some of the high profile celebrities. So now I'm kind of questioning, what does this incident do to that as well, right? Because now, like, are celebrities going to be, oh shit, like
do we just turn this into like a Nickelodeon special?
right, exactly.
Like where
Exactly.
we give away this award and get covered in snot?
Right, right, exactly, exactly. And also, like, our artists next year going to be like, well, fuck it, I don't want to go. Right,
Right.
like if this shit is going to be a fucking
Right. Like
zoo,
next year, Conor McGregor might choke me the fuck out. I don't want to
right,
go.
right. Exactly, exactly.
I don't want to get choked out by Conor McGregor. I'm just saying. If he's mad at me, I'm gonna run.
Over best picture of the year, motherfucker. But no, like I'm almost curious as to what happens to those celebrities that are now looking at the Oscars going, well, fuck, is this shit even good?
Right.
Like is this even good for my career?
Right.
So
Is it just a joke? Like,
right.
did it turn into the MTV Awards?
Dude, I actually like the MTV Awards.
I did too. Like,
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
I like some of the spoofy, like, because, like, come on, can we not just give the awards to like the most prestigious? Can we get like the best water boy?
Right.
Like,
right. Like the best
and the award for best extra goes
like
to
they should have like the award for best continental breakfast. Like, the award for best trailer.
right.
Like, and I'm not talking about like movie trailer. I'm talking
The
about
award,
like a fucking truck trailer, like
right?
where
Like
they sleep.
the award for the best accommodations during a shoot goes to
Right. Exactly. Yeah, man, like I'm curious as to what that does, but like even though I'm talking about this shit today, I still don't think I'm gonna watch the awards.
So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna wait till the next day after, and then when something fucking crazy happens, I'm gonna go watch it on every social media outlet on the face of the earth. That's
Just
what
like
I'm gonna do.
just like you did this year.
Right. And then we'll probably talk about it again.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. But no, like we always have like a moral of the story in our episodes. I think for this
Usually.
one, yeah, I think I think we've had them in almost every single one. I really do. I got to go back and look, but I think that we've had a do something or, you know, change
Yeah.
something every single time. So with this one, I almost want to say like don't smack anybody, but
But
I'm
I
gonna
also kind of want to be like, stay strapped or get clapped. You know, like
I can't even top that. I think the moral the moral of today's episode is what?
stay strapped or get clapped.
There you have it, folks. Oh my god, that was awesome.
Oh, we're gonna get so much anti 2A stuff now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But you okay, fine. You know what? On top of the fact that you gotta
Stay strapped,
you gotta stay
safely
strapped.
and licensed,
There you go. There
or
you
get
go.
clapped.
There you go. There you go. And if you wrongfully clap somebody, like apologize.
You're gonna get sued.
Yeah, apologize. Don't be a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you like own it. You
My bad,
fucked
dude.
up.
My bad.
Yeah, my bad. My bad. And I mean to slap the shit out of you on live TV. Like I just, I got real emotional.
Right.
Jada was
I
upset.
got paid a lot of money.
I got paid a lot of money, and your face just looked like my hand needed to fucking touch it. It just nobody told me how
Absolutely.
aggressive to touch it, and I
Right.
felt like I wanted to hear my
That was
hand
just a
against
tap.
your face.
That
Right?
was
That was a love tap.
That was a love tap.
But no, man. I think for today's episode, I think we can leave it with stay strapped or get clapped.
Absolutely.
And on that note, we're out.
We're out.
Peace.
Peace.